First of all, before anyone asks, I do plan on making a Don't Be episode about Yoshui 1, and I will not be making a Don't Be episode for Akai Dahlia, because I'm sure Akai just wants to move on from all the drama, like Princess Elizabeth, whom is now known as Erin. And no, I won't be making a video on Erin either, because she's changed over the years, so please don't ask. So, with those questions now answered, without further ado, roll tape. Disclaimer. This video is for educational and documentary purposes only. This video is in no way, shape, or form a rant. I also do not condone any witch hunting or harassment of any sort, such as trolling, etc. If you're watching this to send hate to said user, it's strongly advised against. This video may or may not also contain disturbing, scary, or violent content. Viewer discretion is advised. Hey pups, Arby here. You remember the old days of DeviantArt drama involving people like Akai and Yoshui 1 in the Sonic fandom, right? Well, you should probably remember this crazy mother fluffer too. Ladies and gents, Sonics and Amy Roses of all ages, meet Paul and Amy, a man who went down the rabbit hole of insanity and believed Amy was real and thought to be married with a family with her, and went as far as to lure and sexually abuse children as young as 3 years old and as old as 8 years old. Yeah, this guy's a pedophork. But let's get into the basics first before we dive into the Shark Tank. There was someone on the internet named Alex Henriel who created a website for Sonic fans to have weird AF fantasies for certain characters in the Sonic franchise. I won't go into too much details about that, because they're already far too disturbing to think of. Among the members was Paul and Amy, his full name being Paul Rhodes. He was an Amy Rose obsessed fan, pretty much like the extreme version of Yoshui 1. He was thought to be married to Amy Rose and believed he had kids with her as well. I get that Amy Rose is a fictional character, but you know she's 12 years old, right? As in, oh, I don't know, underage? The fact that he was obsessed with Amy was already disturbing enough, but it just gets worse and worse and worse and worse, just like an abyss. It was around 2012, if I am remembering it correctly. Paul said he knew the differences between fiction and reality, but he believed he was married to Amy and thought he had a family with her. That screams BS to me. Saying you know the differences between reality and fiction, yet believing something that is fiction, like thinking you're married to a cartoon character, means there's something wrong with you mentally. That's the same thing as me saying the following. You know, I know the differences between reality and fantasy, but I'm married to Lord Beerus and Jeff the Killer because we're in a third wheel relationship, and they're my real husbands. You see what I'm saying here? It was Paul's sanity that snapped, and he lured 5 little girls between the ages of 3 and 8 or 9 years of age, thinking they were going to play some video games, when in reality, Paul had raped them. Raped them. And the worst part of it was, these 5 poor little girls were foster kids. He allowed his obsession with Amy to make him so crazy that he'd go as far as to rape little girls. Thankfully, the police got involved ASAP, and Paul was arrested right on the spot. During the court hearing, he said the following. I don't know why I did it. The opportunity was just there. I betrayed their trust. This is why people like this disgust me when they aren't responsible with their fetishes and fantasies. But I'll go on a tirade about that later in the video. Thankfully, Paul Rhodes is still in prison to this very day. Unfortunately, both of his DA accounts, old and new, are still up to this day. You can find comments calling him a pedo or a sick twisted fuck, which, honest to God, he is. The Blackbuster Critic, aka The Blackbuster Show, have made a video regarding Paul years ago, to which I recommend you check out after watching this video, or pause the video and go there. Don't worry, I'll still be here when you get back. And to quote him, Paul is a prime example of people who are obsessed with their sexual fantasies online. This is why you need to stop. Because more than likely, the outcome is that your little fantasies aren't going to be enough for you anymore. To where you're presented the opportunity, you could make the wrong decision. Sometimes, you gotta know when to control yourself, and not be a potential danger to others, whether they be children or adults. Besides, there's better things you could do with your time that'll help you get your fantasies and fetishes under control. Me personally, I don't mind people showing off their fetishes online every now and again, just as long as they don't let it take over their minds and make their sanity go bye-bye. And if it doesn't involve bestiality, pedophilia, scat, or anything similar to that, because those three things are gross. Oh, and incest. I don't recommend incest. Yeah. Because that right there is a bad thing, to let your little fetishes and fantasies go as far as to hurt someone or yourself. So to conclude this short and bitterly sour episode of Don't Be, make sure you really know the differences between fiction and reality, even if you ship yourself with a fictional character. Don't let your fantasies or fetishes control your mind or your life. Control your urges. Refrain from hurting others if you are online every day with your little fantasies and or fetishes. Learn when enough is enough. And finally, the big one, the most important one of all, don't be Paul and Amy. I know this was another short episode of Don't Be, but I was going back and forth with touching this topic since I made that Don't Be episode of Chris Chan. Yes, I'm fully aware of how transgenderism works. I didn't want crazy SJWs getting on my ass saying, "Chris Chan is a transgender, you transphobic piece of doo-doo!" I just wanted to make that clear, but thankfully that didn't happen. I only had comments saying of how stupid I was of not understanding transgenderism. Yeah. Anyways, if you're new here, be sure to subscribe to be part of the Pepper Pack today, and be sure to check out the links about this certain individual down below. Sadly, no fan art for today, but if you want your fan art featured, my social links are in the description, and all I gotta do is follow and tag me on the following: DeviantArt, Firmfinity, Ink Bunny, Facebook, and Twitter. I also now have a Snapchat and an Instagram, so be sure to follow me on those as well. I also have 2 other channels where I do unboxings and reviews and vlog and other videos as well, so be sure to check them out and give them a subscribe too. Also, huge thanks to my Patreon for their support. It is very much appreciated, thank you so much. If you want to support what I do or donate to me, my Patreon and PayPal are down below as well. I'll see you later, pups. As always, stay awesome, stay strong, and stay beautiful.